Ooh, Miss J. Hud, I really hate to break it to you, but honey, we told you so. Remember when we said that the common denominator wasn't exactly doing you any favors? Well, looks like we were right after all.
He might be the type of person that never, really settles with somebody. Maybe he's like he's like a bee going from flower to flower.
Wait a minute. Now what's all this I'm hearing about Common supposedly moving on with someone new and leaving Jen high and dry? I'm sitting here scratching my head, folks, because wasn't he just all over J. Hud like a lovesick puppy only a few days ago?
That relationship is one of the greatest blessings and most important things in my life, in my whole journey in life. The friendship, the partnership, the life partnership, just the connection. Man, it's one of those things where you don't know truly what true partnership and relationship is until you get there.
So now, what's this I'm hearing about Common apparently having some other woman warming his bed, and even allegedly running his mouth about J. Hud after cheating on her? Is this all because J. Hud turned down his proposal last year? Or maybe Common is trying to twist the narrative because people are finally catching on to those rumors that he might just prefer to play on the other team.
Why can't anybody just be honest? They're waiting for Chrissy Teigen to get plastic surgery and end up Jackie O so that they can be roommates and make musicals together. Let's just be real.
Okay.
He'd rather spend time with John.
All right, loves, I hope you're sitting down, because this is about to get real messy. If there's one thing we can't deny about Common, it's that this man has been able to lock down some of the most stunning women in Hollywood. I mean, we're talking Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson, Tiffany Haddish, Erykah Badu, Kim Jones, Ava DuVernay, Simone Biles, Jaguar Wright, and even Angela Rye. We're talking Hollywood royalty, people. But here's the kicker, none of these women stuck around. The Common consensus? Common just ain't a keeper. I mean, we're talking about a guy who straight up admitted that once the fireworks of a relationship faded, he'd bounce. He even said he's addicted to love, not the actual intimacy, and that he thrives on the chase and the early stages. But once that wears off, he gets bored and drops everything.
The pattern I found myself in, and what was called love addiction, who my therapist broke it down, was like that feeling of being like, oh, I'm in love, and this that honeymoon period that people call it. I was addicted to that.
Well, damn, J. Hud really thought her charm would be the magic that turned Common into a keeper? Girl, it's the delusion for me. But hey, in her defense, when they first got together, Common did say he'd gone through therapy and even claimed in an interview that he was now the marrying type. In fact, he straight up said that if he ever got married, it would be to J. Hud. But now, let's talk about what's really happening. Lately, eagle-eyed fans have started noticing some subtle signs of trouble, fewer public appearances together, a shift in body language, and cryptic posts from Jennifer that have fans wondering if something's going on behind the scenes. Oh, people are really starting to read between the lines now, huh? Allegedly, Common might already be getting distracted by someone new. And let's just say, the speculation is growing louder, especially after a few unconfirmed reports claim he's been spotted out and about without J. Hud, looking a little too cozy with other women. Now, nothing solid has come out yet, but let's be real, it's Common we're talking about, so would it really be shocking? But here's the real kicker, I'm more concerned about what's supposedly coming out of his mouth. Word on the street is that Common allegedly can't stand J. Hud anymore. What in the world could have happened between them to make Common supposedly start spilling the tea about why he can't stand her? Well, for starters, some people are saying it's possible that Common is just salty. Oh, so this might all go back to the fact that Jen turned down Common's proposal just a few months ago. Now, remember when the rumors started swirling that Common was ready to propose to J. Hud? Well, sources close to J. Hud are saying she just wasn't ready for that kind of commitment. And honestly, can you blame her? For one, Common really lived up to his name when it comes to his relationships with women. A source spilled that even though Common swept Jen off her feet, she was still cautious about his past with so many high-profile women. She was pulling back from rushing into something as serious as marriage. But let's be real, folks, didn't Jen already know this about Common before diving into this relationship? I mean, come on now. Let's be real, Common's business has been all over the place for years, so it's honestly a little ridiculous that J. Hud is suddenly having doubts about marrying him because of his history with women. But wait, there's more. Allegedly, another reason she wasn't ready for marriage is what people close to her have been saying. Jennifer is apparently still haunted by the trauma of her toxic relationship with David Otunga. sources say she still believed that marriage just wasn't in the cards for her. She was reportedly terrified of committing again and vowed never to rush into a relationship like she did with David. And when J. Hud calls her relationship with David toxic, well, we all know exactly what kind of mess she's talking about. The source also spilled that Common tried to reassure Jen that he was in it for the long haul. But Jen wasn't having it. Apparently, Common told her, despite his past with all those famous women, he was serious about the relationship and wanted to make it work. But Jen had been there before, remember? She was engaged for 9 years before, and she wasn't about to repeat that cycle of heartbreak and end up with another broken marriage, stuck at square one. Maybe that's where things started to go off track. Maybe after all that, they just couldn't get back to the same place. And maybe Common finally realized there wasn't a future there. But hold on, because here's where the real tea gets interesting. People are saying the real reason Common couldn't stand J. Hud anymore isn't even what you'd expect. It's something a whole lot deeper. Oh, and here's where it gets real juicy. Allegedly, Common got tired of pretending and just couldn't keep up the act anymore. Now, remember when Jaguar Wright, Common's ex, dropped that bombshell saying she wishes people knew the real truth about him? According to Jaguar, the truth is that Common doesn't actually love black women. Instead, she claims he uses them socially and is always chasing clout at their expense. Basically, Jaguar said that Common would rather be with men, and every woman who's been involved with him knows this deep down. Oh, and get this, Jaguar even pointed out that it's pretty sus that Common has been with so many women who have all shared their stories, but none of them ever mentioned his performance in the bedroom. Maybe it's because they're just respectful women, right? Or maybe there's something else going on. Or maybe Jaguar is onto something, and Common really does prefer to play for the other team, allegedly. Who knows? But honestly, I just wish Lonnie would come clean about it. Is he bisexual or not? It's 2025, let's stop pretending. And here's where it gets even spicier. Someone came forward with first-hand info, spilling the tea with a whole story. They were like, I gotta tell y'all what I know. And trust me, this is about to get wild. A friend's husband said he was at a Hollywood event this summer with his wife, who is linked to the industry, and Common spent almost an hour of the night chatting him up exclusively while his wife was working the event. The guy didn't even know who he was till later in the night when his wife told him. FYI, the guy is white and super good looking, fine as get out. Anyway, at the end of the night when his wife texted him to come to the outside area, around 3 a.m. or so, Comment allegedly asked him, so, what are you doing later tonight? The guy said, going home with my wife. And that it was awkward. I repeatedly asked the guy if he was sure it wasn't a misunderstanding about the connotation, and the guy reassured me it was exactly how it sounded. In addition, there's been some serious speculation that Common might be struggling with his sexuality, with rumors suggesting he was allegedly taken advantage of by a man. People are saying this could be causing him to have conflicting feelings when it comes to connecting with women. Now, I can't confirm any of these allegations or how Common truly likes to roll, but what I can tell you is this. There are also whispers floating around that maybe J. Hud is the problem here. Because let's be real, over the years, it's starting to seem like she just can't seem to keep a man. I mean, her track record speaks for itself, right? Now, let's talk about J. Hud's messy past, shall we? Her relationship with David Otunga was nothing short of a hot mess. Word is, David found out that Jen might have been cheating on him, and allegedly, he accused her of having a fling with music producer Molly Music. Now, J. Hud never actually confirmed or denied whether there was any truth to the fling, but things only got uglier from there. And get this, she even had to bring it up in a protective order against David, which just shows how much drama went down between those two. Now, things took a dark turn when David Otunga allegedly got super jealous. He reportedly called Jennifer several times while she was in a recording session in Chicago, but when she didn't pick up, it said that David had their son try to film her to prove she was romantically involved with Molly Music. In the protective order where Jen opened up about the alleged affair, she also accused David of getting more aggressive, threatening, and hostile towards her and their son. Of course, David didn't just sit back and take it. He fired back, claiming J. Hud was lying, saying that because she had more influence in the industry, he was getting the short end of the stick. The drama between them just kept escalating from there. The drama didn't stop there. David fired back, saying that he had actually been their child's primary caregiver since birth, because Jennifer was always on the road. This, of course, directly contradicted her claim in the legal docs that she was the primary caregiver. Oh, but wait, there's more. David also claimed that Jen was the one who pressured him to choose his family over his work, only to later start complaining that he was freeloading off her success. But don't forget, Jennifer also accused David of some serious allegations, which led to a police investigation. David was cleared a few months later, and Jen eventually dropped the order of protection, but not before getting David to promise he would never set foot on her property again. That was some messy legal back and forth. David claimed that Jen was using her power and influence to paint him as the villain, while in his eyes, she was the real monster. He said he was just trying to expose who she truly is behind the scenes, not the image she projects. So maybe, just maybe, Common also got a taste of that darker side of J. Hud and just couldn't handle it anymore. There are even some allegations floating around suggesting that Jen started to feel like Common was beneath her, especially because she makes more money than him. Child, if that's the case, it would be a real shame, because J. Hud knew exactly what she was getting into from the start. But at this point, who really knows what's going on? We don't know if Common cheated, if he's slipping back into his old habits, or if J. Hud is actually the problem here. Heck, they could even still be together, and all of this could turn out to be nothing for all I know. But you know what? I'm dying to hear your thoughts on all this drama. So, don't hold back, sound off in the comments below.